Up until now, we have seen that TCP can retransmit data that we lost. But how does it know how much data it can send without overwhelming the receiver, and also utilize the full bandwidth of the link? In real world, system is doing multiple things and may be busy. In such case, the receiver may not be able to process all the data it receives. So it holds onto the packet in its buffer memory until it can process it. To prevent the sender from overwhelming the receiver, TCP utilizes a flow control mechanism. Let's see how it works. At the start of the session, both of the nodes advertise their available buffer space, called as the receive window. This value is shared in each ACK packet throughout the TCP session. The sender sends only a small amount of data at a time, limited by the advertised receive window value, and awaits for the acknowledgement before retransmitting for the additional data. Let's assume our receiver has a receive window value of 11,500 bytes. The sender knows this value of a receiver, and it will not send more than that amount of data until it receives an acknowledgement. And if the receiver is still not able to keep up, then it can also advertise a smaller window to the sender. Similarly, receiver may also send a receive window value of 0 to indicate no more data should be sent until the existing data in the buffer is processed. Now we know when the receiver cannot process the packets, it can tell the sender to slow down. The bandwidth of the link is constantly changing. Since there are multiple devices in the network, the resources have to be shared. To effectively utilize available bandwidth, TCP implements a slow start mechanism. Both nodes initialize our initial congestion window value for TCP connection, which is kept private. Congestion window is the amount of data the sender can have in flight before receiving an acknowledgement. The congestion value usually starts with a small number. In our case, the congestion value of our client is 4, so initially client sends only 4 packets. The sender replies with 4 ACK packets. Client now doubles the packet, thus sending 8 segments and receive 8 acknowledgements. This process is repeated until receiver is unable to ACK all packets, or sender gets capped by the receiver's receive window value. Remember, the maximum amount of data in flight between the client and the server is the minimum of receive window and the congestion window value. For this example, let's consider the receive window of our receiver is sufficiently large enough. The congestion value increases exponentially, and soon the client is sending 128 packets. This time, however, receiver was not able to ACK all of them. This means either receiver is under load and wasn't able to acknowledge all of the packets, or the link doesn't have enough bandwidth to carry all 128 packets. And since we assume the receive window value is large enough, this means it was the link bandwidth itself that couldn't transfer all 128 packets. Now client drops congestion window value to 64 again, since 64 packets were acknowledged successfully last time. The congestion window value is now increased to 66, then to 68, and so forth until the packet drops again. If you plot the congestion window against the round trip, we get the following graph with a sawtooth pattern. We can see the congestion value starts slow and small, and it grows exponentially until it reaches a slow start threshold. When packet loss is detected, the congestion avoidance algorithm takes over, and the congestion window value is reduced. Both slow start and congestion avoidance are the techniques for the congestion control. Up until now, we have seen these features of TCP. Now let's jump into the TCP packet itself. In the TCP header, we can see the checksum field. This field is used to determine the integrity of the packet itself. The checksum value is calculated by taking into the account of TCP header, TCP body, and the pseudo IP header. The sender calculates the checksum using these 3 fields, and the value is placed in the checksum field. The receiver runs the checksum for each received packet, and if the checksum value matches as mentioned in the field, we know the data is correct. And if the checksum value doesn't match, the receiver discards the packet. Sender won't get an acknowledgement for that packet, and it resends the packet after it exceeds retransmission timeout value. Let's summarize the TCP features we have learned so far. TCP doesn't send any application data before three-way handshake, which makes it a connection-oriented protocol. The combination of SYNAC numbers ensured data loss prevention and in-order delivery of the data stream. The receive window value ensures the flow control of data. it is continuously sent by the receiver in each ACK packet. Similarly, slow start mechanism transfers data slowly at first and then grows exponentially to utilize the available link bandwidth. Congestion avoidance tries to minimize the packet loss. And finally, in the TCP header itself, we have a checksum field that checks if the data is corrupted or not. TCP is really complex, and some examples in this video were simplified to explain the concept in an easier way. There are still many nitty-gritty features that we haven't talked about. If you learned something new, consider subscribing to the channel. Leave a like and comment. Your engagements help motivate me to keep creating content.